Alan Colmes, we're talking to Dr. Ron Paul. He, many years in Congress, served Texas as 14th district since 1997, was a seeker of the Republican nomination for president this last time around, was a Libertarian Party candidate in 1988 for president of the United States. We started to talk about the issue of prosecuting interrogation abuses. Dr. Paul, should that be something that should be pursued?
Yes, certainly. I mean, not pursuing it means you condone it. And when you find out that somebody's been waterboarded 268 times or whatever number it was, sounds to me like real torture. And I think somebody should be responsible for that. I think the president has changed his tone on this because a couple of days ago he said he would not pursue it. Today he said he would investigate.
Well, he's saying
he's hearing from the progressives.
Well, he doesn't favor prosecuting CIA operatives who use those techniques, saying they were simply doing what they believe was legal. So he's still saying that, but is that the same thing as saying, hey, I'm just following orders?
I think so. I mean, if you or I were asked to waterboard somebody even once, I hope I would have the brains to stop. But what if you asked to waterboard the same guy hundreds of times?
Yeah.
I mean, that
wouldn't that tell you it doesn't work?
It proves it. I think it would. But, they haven't sworn off rendition. I think, the tone has changed, and that is good. But, it remains to be seen if our policies will change. Certainly the foreign policy, I don't expect a whole lot. The very first thing he did in the new budget was raise the DOD budget by 9%.
Yeah, I know you've complained about that. And he cut $100 billion out of the stimulus bill.
But that was my whole argument in the campaign. What I advocated was that was the easiest place politically to cut. Conservatives sometimes they made fun of Obama cutting $100 million because it is peanuts compared to the trillions.
Yeah. $100 million, not $100 billion.
But every once in a while, you'll get conservatives on the House floor that will want to cut a few $1 million from child health care, to be fiscal conservatives, and never cut a single penny from the military.
Right.
So that's why I think this is a much bigger problem. It's strategic. It has to be changed. And unfortunately, on the big issues, the Republicans and Democrats agree. They agree on foreign policy, monetary policy, tax policies, welfare policy. So that's why I think we're in for a long duration of this economic correction.
In terms of going after these people, should Cheney and Bush themselves be held accountable, and should they be looked at as potential subjects of prosecution?
I think they should be investigated, yes. I think if we totally ignore it, yes. I mean, there's been a lot less serious crimes investigated. I think I remember a previous president was investigated for something a lot less serious. So in foreign policy, matter of fact, when the thing with Clinton came up, I wanted him prosecuted for the war and bombing Iraq and killing innocent people, but instead they went for other reasons. So I would say it's justified to find out.
You went through the litany of things where Republicans and Democrats agree, which is why your campaign, when you saw the Republican nomination, resonated. Will you then, given the fact that there's so much agreement between the two main political parties, again seek higher office down the road? Are you possibly going to do that?
That's not likely, and it's very unlikely to do it outside the two-party system because, we spend a lot of money and kill a lot of people on both sides, our side and their side, promoting democracy and making the world, understand our goodness. At the same time, if one does come to the conclusion, which many millions do, they come to the conclusion that no matter what, you get Republicans in, they act like Democrats. You get the Democrats in, they act like Republicans to prove that they are supportive of both sides. So if that's the case, we're not very democratic.
Is there a future for the Libertarian Party in this country?
Well, the future is more philosophical than reality because they're handicapped by these laws. I mean, it's difficult. When I tried it, I spent more than half my money just trying to get on ballots. The media won't give you credibility. I do believe you first interviewed me probably in '88.
That's correct. That's right, I did.
So at least you talked to me.
Yeah.
But in '88, people you couldn't get in debates on. Now, if you're a Ross Perot, money is rewarded, but the laws are so biased. I think one way we could edge over into a fairer system is to have more states do what they do, like in New York, where if I were in New York and I ran as a Republican, I could also run as a Libertarian.
I see. Yeah.
And I guess that law still exists. You could run as a Democrat and a liberal, and that gives the third party, the minor party, a little bit more credibility.
Hey, you can run. Rudy Giuliani ran as a Republican and a liberal for president, for mayor of New York, with Ray Harding, which was more of a fiefdom, I think, than actually a real political party in New York.
And from my response across the political spectrum, I think in some places I could run as a Republican and a progressive and a Democrat and a libertarian, and the whole works, because the Constitution really protects everybody.
But how would you really define yourself? Because lots of labels get applied to you because you've run under different headings. But how do you regard yourself if you had a label where you are politically?
Well, I'm a strict constitutionalist, but if you wanted a word that was more descriptive than just obeying the Constitution, I would say I'm a non-interventionist. I don't want to intervene in your personal
But Republican doesn't fit, does it?
Well, some do, and some have in the past. Oh, well, no, the Republicans have. When I was always accused of not being a Republican, I would say, well, we even had a Robert Taft who said we shouldn't even belong to NATO. He didn't like all this intervention in this world.
But a lot of people think of you as a libertarian because I think so much of your philosophy really fits what they say they believe.
Yeah, but if I'm a strict constitutionalist and the Constitution is libertarian, then it comes together. But if you say, Ron Paul, you're a libertarian, I don't say, no, I'm not. I never say that. I say, sure, I believe in, but I think you have libertarian instincts. You believe in liberty.
Absolutely.
So, why?
I call myself a liberal.
A bad word.
I'm a libertarian, I think, is what I like to call myself.
But I think you have, and in the libertarian movement, we talk about where did you come from? Did you come from the liberal side or did you come from the conservative side? But we can bring people together, and that's what delights me. I had some of the biggest rallies on some very liberal campuses. One of the greatest rallies I had was at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Well, because your anti-war stance and your the way you address 9/11, like what you said here tonight, and you've said previously, which is that it wasn't a nation state that attacked us. When John Kerry at one point said it should be a police action, not a military action, he was raked over the coals for saying that.
Yeah, but maybe we're making headway. They say, and that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing the discussion, whether it has to do with mark and reprisal or any of these issues, or secession. This is just, trying to push people into staying out of this, quagmire of ideas where they don't even think out of the box at all. And I just find that our traditions and our history and our Constitution offers a lot of that without me saying, well, if we could get rid of 3 portions of the Constitution, then we could consider some of my views. I don't have to do that because I think traditionally that we've endorsed some of these things. Some people say, "Oh, these things are so old and ancient." I said, "Yeah, the First Amendment's pretty old too, but we like to defend that." Dr.
Paul, I always appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Dr. Ron Paul, Congressman from Texas. Said he'll probably not likely run for president again, but you never know. We'll come right back with you on the phones asking just name and town, 877-367-2526.